Yes guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to the George Benson football channel for your West Ham versus Chelsea Premier League preview. It's the Saturday early kickoff, so that means it is at a decent time for me. So I will be live on GBFC tomorrow. Make sure you tune into the channel for the live stream. We'll go live about an hour or so before kickoff, go through the match, and then of course 6 things we learnt will be uploaded straight after. But in this video today, we are not only going to build my Chelsea 11, we're going to take a little look at some of the players that made a difference last week against Bournemouth. We're also going to give a score prediction and go through some of Enzo Maresca's comments, because as much as it took the Chelsea media team a fair amount of time to sort out the audio on the live stream, it was cracking here, cracking there, cracking bloody everywhere, and not the kind of cracking that we want, the positive cracking, you know? But we got there and we figured out that Reece James and Malo Gusto are still both injured. This is an issue for Chelsea here. We have got 2 unbelievable right backs. One of them is just never ever fit. Reece James at this point, he's just never fit. Malo Gusto also seems to be struggling to recover. And I think there comes a time where if the manager can't say when Reece James is expected to be back, like even the first week after a player breaks his leg, there's normally like it's going to be about 4 months, 5 months. With Reece James, we don't have a clue. Enzo Maresca does not have a Scooby if and when he's going to come back. And I think this is a massive problem. And as much as obviously the primary thing to say is get well soon, we don't want to see players injured. I don't want to see players from other clubs injured, let alone flipping our club captain and Chelsea players. But it does fuel me with a lot of concern, with a lack of confidence, to be quite honest, on that right-hand side. So when I'm thinking about which wingers it could be, we've actually heard some really interesting comments from Maresca in the press conference. So he actually clarified for us what position he thinks each player is actually going to be in. So on the right side, he said it's Neto, Madueke. I've got the old notebook out here. The left side, Sancho and Mudryk. The number 9, Jackson, Nkunku. He forgot Mark Yu, but then he repeated him again later. And then the central attacking midfield is Palmer or Felix. So when you look at that, as much as, it seems like we've got a hell of a lot of wingers. There's no mention of Carney Chukwuemeka, which I'm not too happy about, but I think they've made up their mind what they're doing with him at the club. And when you look at it, it's like, well, maybe seeing Pedro Neto struggle on the left-hand side against Bournemouth last week now means that we've got some clarity about who's going to play where. And if it's Sancho and Mudryk competing for the left-sided position, then we absolutely know that Jadon Sancho starts in this game for Chelsea. Because look, if Jadon Sancho can have the debut that he had last week and then Mudryk starts ahead of him against West Ham, then I swear there has been something absolutely dosed in the manager's drink. As much as I don't want to put Mudryk down too much, the fact of the matter is, of all of those attacking players that we have at the club, he's the weakest link. He's the weakest link. He shouldn't be starting games right now for Chelsea. And I think we actually learned a lot within this press conference about the kind of competition that we're going to see moving forward. I think when you look at teams like West Ham, and especially that Chelsea right side, is it going to be Axel Disasi? Are we going to see Caicedo now that Enzo Fernandez is fit again? Will we see Caicedo go to right back? Will we see some faith and trust put into the young Josh Achampong? And if you didn't see him the other day for the under-21s, he was magnificent. He really is a quality footballer. And Chelsea are now streaming the under-21 matches. So you can actually watch some of these young players that are on the verge of breaking into the first team if you want to see firsthand what they can actually do. So I think the right side, there's a big debate to be had here, because Chelsea at West Ham, we've often struggled. They've made some good signings this summer, West Ham. And if they notice that the Chelsea right side, particularly in the defensive phase, is going to be weak, then you just know that Mohamed Kudus is going to be over there on that left. He's going to be having an absolute field day. So the Chelsea 11 that I've built here, I've gone with 2 different 11s because Maresca was also asked about Nicholas Jackson in the press conference. He's obviously saying he's very happy. Jackson's just signed a new contract extension, which I'll be almost 40 by the time Nicholas Jackson's contract runs out, which absolutely fills me with nothing but fear for my age, not because I don't like Nicholas Jackson. I do like Nicholas Jackson as much as you lot tend to tell me that I don't, which Just thought I'd clarify that one there. But we begin with the goalkeeper. This 11 that I'm going to build first is the 11 that I would like to see. And then I'm going to show you what I think we're going to see. So Robert Sanchez is in goal. There's no questions about that after what I saw last week. And I want to repeat again what I said in the podcast, what I said in 6 Things We Learned. When it comes to Sanchez, all I've wanted is to be proven wrong. Last week, I was like, hold my hands up, give the man his flowers. He was excellent. And it's about delivering that kind of standard and that kind of quality consistently. If we can get that Sanchez again, then he's going to win Chelsea games. He's going to earn Chelsea points. And we're really hoping that tomorrow is that day. Back 4, JustACoupleGs. Give the man a start. Wesley Fofana, Levi Colwill, and of course, Marc Cucurella in left back. There's still not really any sign, despite Chilwell being back in the squad. I don't think we're going to see Cucurella drop. There's no need to. I think this back line is starting to look really good. I think you've got playmaking capabilities, potential with Levi Colwill. I was in and ahhing. Do I take Wesley Fofana out the side and put Tosin in after Tosin was quite impressive when he came off the bench last week? And a lot of the decisions that I've made here have been about looking at that Bournemouth game and thinking, yes, it wasn't the best performance. Yes, on any other day, the goalkeeper doesn't have a worldie. A couple of chances that hit the post or the crossbar may go in. Chelsea could have easily lost that game last week. So is it about those players not being good enough, or is it still new manager, early season, teething phases, and is it too drastic to change things right now? Because continuity is going to help this team massively. So Fofana keeps his place. I don't think Disasi deserves to start, so JustACoupleGs is there. With the 2 ahead of him, Moises Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez. Enzo is back fit, and I think he is straight back into the Chelsea team. And then we go forward again. Now that we have heard from Maresca that it's going to be Madueke and Neto on that right side, I don't think Noni Madueke having one poor game, it wasn't even that poor. I just think he was a bit average. And if you saw my last video that was posted yesterday on GBFC, I had a lot to say about Noni Madueke. And as much as West Ham, there could be especially defensive work rate needed on both sides. Sancho looked great at that last week, by the way, also. But Neto really struggled against Bournemouth. A lot of people are saying he should start on the right, which is where he prefers to play. He can play on both sides. But I'm not dropping Noni here. I'm not going to say one average game and then someone takes his place. And in this case, it would be Neto, who did have a below average performance last week. So Madueke, Palmer, and Jadon Sancho. It is almost confirmed 100% here from Maresca's press conference when he says Sancho, Mudryk on the left, and Nkunku can play there. Sancho starting this game. No doubts in my mind. And then the big debate is about who is Chelsea's number 9. And I would say Christopher Nkunku is needed for this game. I don't think necessarily that West Ham are going to give up loads of chances. I think there's going to be goals in this game, but I think Chelsea need to be clinical. And I think as much as Nicholas Jackson is obviously getting a lot of praise from Maresca in his press conference, the difference in the finishing, and we saw it last week, Nkunku gets us 3 points. And I don't think Christopher Nkunku is going to stay happy at Chelsea for long if he's only getting minutes against Barrow. If he's only starting games in the Conference League against teams from Kazakhstan. Christopher Nkunku wants to be in the Chelsea starting 11. I've said it this week. Right now, there's a good balance at the club. There's a good energy. And I think based on what football should be, and in this case for Chelsea, it's a meritocracy. If we've got a lot of players in these forward positions, and if Jackson didn't score, and Nkunku makes a game-changing difference and does, then Nkunku starts the next one. And I think it rotates like that. If Nkunku's having a poor game, you got Nicholas Jackson to come off the bench. And I think that is the 11 that I would like to see. However, the 11 that I think we're going to see tomorrow is Sanchez in goal, Caicedo right back, Fofana, Colwill, Cucurella, Enzo Fernandez and Renato Vega in front of them, Madueke, Palmer, Sancho and Jackson up top. I think that Enzo Maresca will decide to stay with Jackson. I'm going to say it for this game. I would start Christopher Nkunku. I think Madueke will also start. I don't think he's done bad enough to be taken out the starting 11. He scored a hat-trick literally 2 weeks ago, so I don't really think it's at a position yet where Noni gets dropped. However, with Neto breathing down his neck, Chelsea spent a lot of money on Pedro Neto. He's a fantastic footballer, and he's fit at the moment. It's not like we're not seeing him at his best because he's not fit. Apparently, he is fit and ready to go. But Sancho played his way into the team. Nkunku played his way into the team. In my opinion, that is what I would go for. This is not going to be easy. West Ham have got a lot of good players. Chelsea struggle at this ground. It's a horrible ground. I really don't like it. I went there once. I was actually in the home end. I had to leave early. It wasn't nice. And basically, I think there's going to be a lot of goals here. I said that against Bournemouth last week, and there wasn't. But there could have been. There should have been. Chelsea conceded so many chances. But I'm going with a 3-2 Chelsea win here. I think this could be an absolute London derby classic. My goal scorers, I think Madueke scores. Palmer is going to score a penalty. And I've got a funny feeling that Levi Colwill scores in this game. I don't know why. Like, that's a bit of a rogue shout from me here on GBFC. But I've had rogue shouts before, and they've come in. So get your money on it. I'm saying Levi Colwill, Noni and Palmer, 3-2 Chelsea win. Let me know your thoughts on my 2 starting 11s in the comments down below. I'll just stick the one that I think Maresca will actually choose up on the screen now. I don't want to see Disasi near the team. Sorry, mate. If you're a big Disasi fan, like, I've seen enough. But let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Come on, you Blues.